Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you this morning and share a little bit about what's been going on with Sheboygan County Interfaith Organization. 2020 has just been a crazy year, and I'm sorry I can't be there with you in person, but I really wanted to take this opportunity to share some of the great things that are happening under our roof and out in the community, and I hope you enjoy what we have to share. The first program is the one that most people are familiar with, the farmers market. We see thousands of people every week, and 2020 was no different. We're so thankful for the community support, and sales were great, and really what it came down to was more low-income families were able to see fresh produce on their tables. The accessibility was there. And we're just really excited and grateful that those first-time users who have never used food share at the farmers market were with us this year. They were able to see their dollars go further in a program called Double Your Bucks, sponsored by St. Nicholas Hospital. So that increased their accessibility to fresh produce. It's unfortunate that the vibe this year was different. It was more transactional. We've worked hard for over 30 years to make it a community destination where you could go and meet your neighbors and friends and really enjoy this sense of community at the farmers market. But it just was a little bit more come in, get your goods, and head out. You may have noticed this year, the farmers market felt a little bit different. It looked different. Long before COVID was a thing, we were talking about moving the vendors to the interior of the park, and there was just concern. The sidewalks were congested, and there were dogs and skateboards and bicycles. And so using those interior sidewalks just felt like it would create more of a destination. So it really was a God wink when COVID hit that we had this plan to really observe that social distancing and make that work. We're grateful for the grant we received for hand washing stations. Again, increased safety protocol and measures was all part of the 2020 scene at the farmers market. But overall, we just were so pleased with how things panned out. We're planning for a winter market. We'll see. Weather is changing. We think the pop-up model is probably our best bet, so we don't have to make pivots and changes. And if you weren't able to join us for the pop-up in the spring, it's an outdoor venue. So we'll be at First Congregation Church UCC over on Bluff, and 9:30 to 11:30, pretty short window out in the parking lot. And again, it's kind of a drive-through service. So you go and you pick up your meat or you pick up your veggies and continue on your way. So more transactional, weather permitting. We will be there every Saturday, but we'll see what pans out with Mother Nature. We don't have much control over that. Our next program is Family Pathways, probably our quietest program in Sheboygan County Interfaith. Really it is the program supervised visitation, gives the parents who are non-custodial the opportunity to connect with their kids in a supervised, nurturing environment. And unfortunately, due to COVID, we had a temporary suspension of that program. So from about March until July, we weren't offering services. We have a residential program, and we really wanted to protect those families. So we used that time to build community relations and connections, and we're now seeing families again. We've expanded the schedule. And I promise you, even though I can't share a lot of details because of the sensitivity of that program, we have families who are making connections and building stronger family bonds. And it's really exciting to see the growth. And the ultimate goal of that program is unsupervised visitation. So we're seeing lots of opportunity in that particular program as well. Our last program, and I would argue probably the one that has the most impact, is Bridgeway and Beyond. And it's our transitional living program. We have 13 beds, and so there's a configuration of all kinds of moms. 2020 was a really great year for us. We saw a number of moms transition on, which is our goal. We're always excited to be able to work with families for up to 2 years and really get at some of those barriers and help them to be successful and self-sufficient. And early in the year, we had one mom with her daughter who, while she was with us, worked really hard, received a promotion at work, and is now a supervisor in the dietary department. And they've moved on to an apartment and are doing really well. We have another mom and son who have moved into an apartment. And when she was a resident, she was with us for almost 2 years. She studied for her real estate license, passed her licensing, and has full-time employment, is very excited, working hard, said, please share my information with everybody. I'd love to sell houses for anyone who's in the market. So if you need a little help, I got someone for you. We have another mom who has moved on to Trisha's house, and I'm not sure if you've heard of this facility, but it's an extension of our Bridgeway program. So moms who complete all their goals at Bridgeway would then have an opportunity to potentially live at Trisha's house, property managed by St. Nicholas Hospital, and still case managed by our case manager, and continuing to meet and go through any issues that may arise, but a much more independent living environment. And this mom, her dream, when she lived here at Bridgeway, she was an amazing cook and baker, and she has transferred that skill set and opened her own home-based baking business. Macarons and cookies and cakes, and she also works for a local manufacturer. So she's doing wonderful, and that was really exciting to see the growth that she experienced as well. Bridgeway, we're still here. We still have families. We still have needs. We live with families. There's a level of accountability. They're doing chores. They're doing homework. They're doing counseling and getting through addictions. And we work with them through all of those pieces. And COVID has made it kind of tough, right? We're doing more with the families and supporting the kids when schools go virtual. That means that there's a little more work for everybody. So that's what we do. The other part of Bridgeway, it's called Bridgeway and Beyond. The and Beyond portion is our outreach. And we continue to work with families who are not in our residential program, who have needs, oftentimes are homeless, or in really unstable housing environments. And that increased exponentially over the course of 2020. I was talking with our case manager, and she said January through September, she met the same number of clients as she did in all of 2019. So we know that there's families who have a need for housing and food, and we meet them where they're at. So that has been a pretty significant difference in 2020. We have a really special opportunity to hear from a mom today. I'm really excited that she's agreed to spend some time with us, and I think you'll find some of her story pretty compelling.
I was in an abusive relationship where we were both active in our addictions, and I had a 2-year-old daughter. Things were already escalating, and I was caring for her basic needs, but not her emotional needs, and I didn't really know what was wrong, because at the time I didn't comprehend that you couldn't be using and still be a parent and all that. And then my dad died, and that kind of was a wake-up call that life is short and that I needed to take care of the problems now before she gets older, and try to have her grow up to be happy and healthy. I've been at Bridgeway for 7 months now, and I've been clean for like 8 months about.
Awesome.
It's given me a safe place for me and my daughter, where I could kind of readjust to go from living how I was living, which was not right, and I didn't know how to take care of myself or my child, and coming where people help you learn, you don't have to jump right in and be totally independent financially and everything else. So it helped to take little steps to learn how to be responsible for me and be able to take care of both me and Natalie. Well, Natalie's had the most changes because she's blossomed since she's been here. When we got here, she wasn't walking, she wasn't talking, she didn't really even respond to people or her environment around her. She was just, what people would call a good baby, but it's not good for her developmental wise. She wasn't interacting with anything around her, and now she's walking, she's running up and down playgrounds, she's talking and babbling all the time, she's trusting. She had never given me hugs or kisses before or put her arms around me. She kept real tadpoled in, and now she just comes and snuggles with me and can't get enough of hugs and kisses. And she's just touching everything, trying everything, and trusting and feels safe in her environment. Now, I'm signed up for school so I want to go to school for psychology, and I'm getting my credit in order, and I'm going to meetings and doing recovery work. So I'm meeting new friends and getting new networking so that I can start to develop this new life.
I really want to thank you for all of your support. We've really been resilient for 30 years. This is not going to be any different. But truly, your prayers and your thoughts go a very, very long way. So thank you for everything you do. We appreciate your generosity, and we look forward to continued work together. Thank you so much.